Hello everyone, this is NainaMD, Beverly Hills. Welcome to my show, Fusion of Science and Beauty. And it's going to be a great show today. As you know, my passion is for anti-aging and regenerative medicine. And there is an amazing guest who's going to tell us what the leading edge cutting treatments are in anti-aging medicine and regenerative medicine. My guest is Bill Quateman. He's the International Director of Advanced BioCell. It is a company that has been around for at least about 10 years, and they are doing things that you should know about. And I'm going to introduce him. Thank you so much for coming to my show.
Thank you.
And I don't even know how to start with you because you guys are really on a cutting edge treatments that you offer. There's testing, and I think I'd like you to start. I'd like you to at least tell what Advanced BioCell is. What was the mission statement of the company?
Just what are you guys, what are you doing, and what's happening over there?
Yeah, exactly.
We are very closely aligned with what you do, it sounds like to me.
Yes.
We look at health and wellness as a whole sphere. A person is a whole sphere. You could take a piece of that sphere, it would be three-dimensional, and that would be your toxicities. And you put that back in, and then you take this sphere out, and that would be your nutritional deficiencies, okay? And you put that sphere back in, and you take this sphere out, and this would be your structural, skeletal, this would be your hormonal. I mean, it's a whole sphere of what one needs to do the main thing, which is allow your body to make healthy cells. Yeah. That's the essence of anti-aging. You do mitochondria health, which is the inside brain of the cell.
Right. And one other thing to mention is that cells have a certain limit of division. They were known as the Hayflick limit of theory of cell division. But what anti-aging is really about in regenerative medicine is to be able to stretch that limit of cell division. And now we're talking about, of longevity. We're talking really, that's true anti-aging, where you can extend the Hayflick limit theory of cell aging.
Absolutely. What that then means is, what that translates into, it means that people can move better and they can slow the aging process so that they can allow their bodies to regenerate better, which is where they feel better and have that kind of energy and movement. That's what health is.
And from me, I'm always a scientific point of view. Those cells, when they keep dividing, and if you can get these cells that keep dividing to be more like the younger cells, that's the goal. And that's why we try to balance the hormones. We try to really look at the nutrients. We try to look at the minerals. We try to look at the toxins because we know toxins interfere a lot with this sort of thing. And we really look at so many things. And this is why I feel that conventional medicine, and I as an MD have been in the conventional field for such a long time before I started to do a lot the integrative medicine, and I really came to realize conventional medicine does not address things always from the biochemical level and really looking at the person as a what you call a sphere as a three-dimensional sphere. It's more like you've got an acute issue like a heart attack or a chest pain, you go here. You've got a pneumonia, you go here. You've got a headache, you go see the neurologist. And it's sometimes not really putting all the pieces together and then saying, wait a minute, what are some of the wellness things I could advise this person based on what their history might be, based on what their symptoms might be. And oftentimes we find that when we actually do the approach that you mentioned, a lot of things go away.
Well, we refer to it as original design. Yeah. So you have.
So tell me what you mean by original design.
You have a computer, and your computer breaks.
Yeah.
Are we talking into the camera?
Yep.
We are.
We are. You absolutely are.
So we have a thing called an idea called original design.
Right.
And what that means is you have a computer and the computer breaks, so the computer technician goes to the booklet that has the original design of the computer, so when he looks in there, he can see, oh, this is not connected or that's burnt out, right? Yeah. So in conventional medicine, after emergency and trauma care, which is fabulous.
It is fabulous.
There is nothing
Yeah.
left. See, because there's no original design in pharmaceuticals. Our bodies don't have any
Yeah.
original design for Lipitor.
So, in other words, what you're doing is the Lipitor is usually given when you have the diagnosis of the disease.
Right.
Right? It's a medicine that's given.
You're sick.
You're sick,
And
then
you go to the doctor.
and you get a cure, so
And
to
he
speak.
gives you a drug.
Right. Or a procedure, or you get a procedure.
That's the difference is in our model, you're well,
Yeah.
and you go to the doctor.
Yeah. But people will say, why should I go to the doctor when I feel well? They have this almost this innate fear that the more I go, if I go to a doctor when I'm well, they're going to discover something that's just going to keep leading me into more and more issues.
People are trained from the time they're infants to do whatever the guy in the white coat says. So are the parents.
Yeah.
So to make that break and go to a guy maybe in a different white coat,
Yeah.
because naturopaths and chiropractors wear white coats if
Yeah.
that's what the deal is. But the point really is that let's look at the facts. Oriental medicine is 5,000 years old. Ayurvedic, East Indian medicine, is 4,000 years old. Allopathic medicine is 100 years old. Now, unfortunately, in allopathic medicine, there have been more people that have died than all the world wars put together. Why would you follow that model out at this stage? Because it's not working.
And why are we not integrating? I'm asking you that
We
question.
are. You are.
I know
You're
I'm
an
in.
MD.
I know I'm in.
And
I
you're
realize
saying,
that.
let's do things
I realize,
like
but
stem cells, and let's do things like active
but these
oxygen.
are but again, these are things that are not recognized even as a standard of care by the medical boards.
And the point
we're frowned upon.
and
Doctors
the
like
point-
me are frowned
yes,
upon.
Yes.
You know
and,
that.
And the point that we make at Advanced BioCell is that fine, say what you want. Our position, and there are MDs that work with us, and there are chiropractors that work with us, and there are naturopaths that work with us, and there are acupuncturists that work with us, and there are Oriental medical doctors that work with us. Mm-hmm. We all work together for the benefit of the sphere, mm-hmm. which is the health of each individual. So something is skeletal structural, something is nutritional deficiency mm-hmm. or excess. Everybody needs to clean their blood from the crud that's in there.
Absolutely.
So where does that get done and how?
Yeah.
That's where active oxygen and detoxification and everybody that I've talked to just about from the age of 35, men and women, could benefit from some type of attention to hormones.
Yeah.
So we come back to the same square, which is to say, I'm healthy, I'm feeling great. I'm going to talk to my friend Dr. Rex Wilson, my naturopath friend, and just get a channel check. I do it with my car every 3,000, 5,000 miles. Yeah. Why wouldn't I do it with my body?
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you this. We're talking about how these different types of treatments work. Why are we getting? How do you think the gap started? Why did this occur? Why has this problem occurred? Why is there such a gap between conventional medicine and what we call integrative medicine? And people are now, it's almost like they're being pulled. So like they go to the conventional doctor, right? And they go on these drugs and so forth, and then they don't know, they still don't feel good. So they're going to seek some alternative person to help them, right? But then if the alternative person says one thing, they go back to their doctor, and their doctor's saying, don't do what that person's doing. That's ridiculous. And you can't take all those supplements. You can't take all those nutraceuticals. You can't do this. And there's no scientific evidence. And then they come back totally confused. And then now we've got someone that's totally confused, and then out of fear, they'll choose one or the other. So how do we blend? My goal is to try to blend it. I realized a long time ago that I was not able to solve all my patients' issues by just looking and treating them with a drug. I'm not saying that drugs are not wonderful. They have their place. But we also need to look, like you said, at everything else. And when I started looking at other things, imbalances, dysfunctions, do you know that there is not yet any new diagnosis conditions like being defined like environmental stress disorder or a environmental toxin disorder. There's really no new diagnosis codes to address these new illnesses as a result of these technological revolution.
Let me answer your first question. Why are we here? How did we get here?
Yeah.
It's simple, pretty much, when you look at it historically, which is to say, it's money.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. It comes to that.
And a lid that keeps people from getting educated.
Yeah.
There's a real bias against natural medicine from the conventional community. That's real.
But how did 100-year-old...
Money and power. Back when there were 150 or so medical schools that were all basically homeopathic, all basically talking about what are the body nutrient and electrical mechanisms that create health. How does health happen is the question we need to ask. That's Zach Bush. Zach Bush, excuse me, Zach Bush, who I greatly admire, is a Harvard-trained MD and is now a natural medicine advocate who created a product called Restore for Life. You can go RESTORE, number 4life.com, get it on Amazon. It is for gut repair. Yeah. Most of the problems we have here are because the American diet kills people.
It does.
So,
absolutely.
Who's telling you not to eat Pizza Hut? Not your doctor, but your naturopath would.
Yeah.
Now, so the money grab is where it began. The schools, the medical schools, were addressed by Rockefeller and said he was investing in the pharmaceutical cartel, and he said, I'll continue to support you from here if you teach allopathic medicine, which is geared to pharmaceutical treatment. Yeah. And from that point to this day, that's the story. So all of the whole deal is funded by the pharmaceutical cartel, and we all know that. Yeah. And people kind of know that in general, but there's so many people that say, well, I have insurance, so I've got to get the chemotherapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Yeah. But that's where we come in, which is to say, at Advanced BioCell, we say, it's your decision on what you want to do with your body. Yeah. And if you want to meet us at the 50-yard line, we can work together. That's functional medicine. Yeah. People must participate. And that's also one of the problems with allopathic is people want somebody to say, okay, here's a pill, you're better.
It's always like that. That's what we've been taught. I just need to get my pill. They don't even want to know. A lot of times when I practice conventional, my clients didn't even want to know. My patients didn't want to know whether it was like, even they tell me what the side effects could be. That's about it. That's it. And when am I going to get better? 10 days? Is it going to be a month? Is it going to be whatever? It was instant, right? You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Listen, how do people, we're going to go into a commercial break pretty soon, but how do people look you up?
Fine, advancedbiocell.com.
Okay, and advancedbiocell.com, is that the company, is that the clinic as well, or is that the company as well?
No, that's just how to get into our program.
Okay.
You can go to the website, there's phone numbers, there's email contact. Advancedbiocell.com is just the best. Give you a little insight into the products and services.
I know you guys are like located right about a couple of blocks from me, right?
That's right.
Right here in Beverly Hills.
Right, Olympic and Barrington, just on the west side a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So listen, we're going to be right back with this amazing guest, Advanced BioCell International Director, Bill Quateman. I'll be right back. This is NainaMD, Beverly Hills, Fusion of Science and Beauty. Welcome back to my show. This is NainaMD, Beverly Hills, Fusion of Science and Beauty. And I've got my guest, International Director of Advanced BioCell. It's an amazing company. He's telling you all about it. Really, really cutting edge on anti-aging and regenerative medicine. Welcome back, Bill.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So we were talking about really how the shift, occurs, and how that there's such always a dilemma between going conventional and going integrative. And I think the whole idea when I say integrative, isn't integrative a blend of everything? Integrative is a blend of all of the modalities, and we shouldn't be so partial to, like what you said, allopathic medicine is only 100 years old. Chinese medicine has been, what? So you said
5,000.
5,000. And you said Ayurvedic medicine was 4,000 years old, right?
And they do good things. Doesn't mean any one or the other is the best or not. It just means there's elements that speak to the same issues, which is your body is a garden that wants to be fertile and watered and weeded and sunshine lit.
But I see we're getting back to that same thing about, again, money being the basis of just, not being, right?
Education.
Yeah.
See, now I think that's the basic area that we all operate in now, which is to raise people's consciousness and awareness that, oh boy, you don't have to take the pharmaceutical pills. As a matter of fact, it's better if you don't.
But Bill, this is the problem. The problem is you're not going to get the education because a lot of the doctors are afraid, or they just don't know.
No, I'm not talking about doctors.
But let me finish.
No.
But when the patient has to choose, okay, and they go to their doctor might feel, maybe they might think, wait a minute, maybe coenzyme Q10 is a great thing because, Lipitor, statin drugs, lower coenzyme Q10, maybe I should give it, but they may not recommend it.
What we were talking about is why people have a difficult time making a decision between a regular doctor that they've been seeing and they do trust and I understand, and a natural medicine doctor or a different approach.
Exactly.
And I say that the one thing to ask is, how do you feel? And as you said,
a lot of them are not feeling good. They're not.
So what I love about my work with Advanced BioCell in the sector of natural medicine is that each individual is in what we call 4P health, which means...
What is a 4P health?
Health needs to be personalized, it needs to be preventive, it needs to be predictable, and most importantly, it needs to be participatory, which means that a client or a patient must work with a doctor and follow the program.
In other words, it's not just being given a pill and saying, okay, you're going to get better in like 4 weeks or 10 days or 3 months or whatever. It's really saying, no, we need to go over your things together. You need to do this when you go home, defining a program for him, right? Basically.
Well, instead of one pill, someone could get like 20, 30, 60 pills and some liquids and some tinctures. The question is, how magnificent do you want to be? Yeah. Look at Tom Brady, the quarterback for the New England Patriots. I mean, here's a guy who is so dedicated to excellence in his own performance, right? That's a model of someone who's focused on, conscious of, aware, and paying attention to his own physiology, his own biochemistry, his own recovery, his own strength, his own stamina. Well, yes, he's in a championship position where that's demanded of him. But his story is remarkable because he came from being the loser quarterback as a young guy into being a world-class record holder. How did he do that? Why did he do that? Why is a different question. How is what we're talking about today. There's a roadmap of natural medicine protocols, steps, things, products, assessments, testing, balancing, stuff that will help you if you participate.
If you participate, and again, the question becomes for that client is that they participate and then they may go back to their regular doctor and says, there's no evidence, there's no science.
That's what I mean. At some point...
And this is where, and there is science, when you look at, this is the thing, doctors are told to read journals that are based on, what their medical journals are. But when you start looking at nutrition journals, or you look at biochemistry journals, physiology journals, the knowledge is all there. All of the facts are there.
Well, the information is endless. I mean, I'm really in no position, nor do I wish to be in a position of convincing anybody of anything, because I don't. I don't. What we do is we fulfill a need. We aren't in the business of creating a need. So for the doctors that don't realize the benefit of natural medicine, I say, okay, no problem. For the patients that don't realize the benefit of natural medicine, I say, okay, that's fine. There's plenty of evidence, there's plenty of information. this is just a mismatch. If a doctor is going to recommend against vitamin C, I think it's the wrong doctor to talk to, frankly. But that's not my position or place. So that's why the people that
your need is by people who are seeking, and that's really what the clients that I used to get were people who were seeking someone. They said, look, we want somebody really knowledgeable, and we know that you know hormones a lot. We know how, we've heard about you or whatever. So they were seeking it already.
Right.
They already knew that they wanted to have a different sort of treatment, but they weren't quite sure how, who to go to, and then that's how they seek out alternative care.
There are any number of pathways to health and wellness,
Yeah.
as there are any number of pathways which are inverted from that to illness and disease.
Yeah.
The pathways include all the things that we do at Advanced BioCell, which is structural, skeletal, biochemical.
What are some of the treatments do you do?
We begin with hair tissue mineral analysis. We find that that's the most comprehensive, in-depth information about metabolic function.
Got it.
How well your body is taking nutrients, holding on to them, and using them for energy. That's our definition of metabolism, metabolic function. And then we start from there with making sure that people have some foundational nutrients. Because everybody needs the raw materials, because there's no place else
Your
to
basics
get them.
basic things are minerals, essential fats, minerals, and protein, and amino acids, basically.
Vitamins.
And vitamins.
Right. So that's the starting point. From there, we offer and provide active oxygen cleansing therapy. We offer.
What is that? What is active oxygen?
Active
cleansing?
oxygen cleansing therapy is the use of medical ozone and medical grade oxygen to clean the blood of microforms, virus, bacteria, mold, fungus, parasites.
And the
yeast.
principle of that is that really in high energy oxygen states, a lot of these bacteria, viruses, they just don't thrive.
All of them thrive in a non-aerobic, low oxygen environment, which is where they are now in our blood supply.
Yeah.
And when you introduce that oxygen, it destroys their microform, their shield, their little coating that protects them against oxygen, microbiome, and then it destroys them. And method that we're using, which is major autochemotherapy, high dose, is clearly a leading edge protocol in the world at this time for any number of illnesses and diseases that basically essentially help the blood be better blood, cleaner blood, more fluid blood, less clumped red blood cells that can then do their job better of taking nutrients to the organs and the systems and the cells throughout the body and taking waste out.
Got it.
Which they can't do when it's all sludgy.
Yes. Yeah.
And we have hormone recommendations of very fine level, reverse aging hormone therapy capabilities. We have stem cell referrals, and we have an entire chiropractic, neurology, and spinal decompression reference. So it's a step-by-step, complete wellness
That's amazing.
approach.
So tell me a little bit about how you take care of yourself.
How do I take care of myself? Well,
What do you, when you get up in the morning, what do you eat?
what I get, well,
Like, yeah,
water,
tell me.
water.
Okay.
Water.
So when you get up, you drink water right away?
I get up in the morning and I shift it around. The
Yeah.
body likes routines, which is to do something good for yourself as often as you can. That's a good routine. But then change up some of the routines, like some of the foods you eat or some of the vitamins you take. Take them, stop for a minute, take them some more, take some different ones. But we can't get what we need from food. It just isn't happening. It doesn't work. It's not possible.
So in other words, you take your vitamins
I
in the
start
morning.
with a probiotic on an empty stomach, because that's the kind I'm taking now.
Yep.
Some probiotics don't need an empty stomach.
Right.
I
But you
take
drink lots of water.
lots of water. Most people are not feeling good because they're dehydrated.
Wow.
2 to 3 quarts of water a day. Do I do it? Almost. Is it easy? Once you get into it, once you know the benefit, whatever's important to you, I don't know. That's not my job. Here's what works. What do you want? What is your goal? What is your health goal? Is your health goal to slow the aging process, to rejuvenate?
So you take water. Then what do you
take water.
What are your favorite foods?
My favorite foods, I do paleo. Basically, I'm eating as many raw, 60 to 70% raw organic vegetable
Fabulous.
intake, basically in juice. But juice is the best.
Do you take meat?
I do.
Do you
I
eat meat?
Moderate amounts of organic grass-fed beef, organic chicken, some clean fish as I can. I'm okay in my metabolism, so salmon and tuna is okay, mackerel is okay, sardines are okay, but if you're a different type of metabolism, you want to... So it can get detailed, yeah. Organic sulfur is very important. I do coenzyme Q10, there's some ashwagandha, there's some...
Fabulous. That's all the right, those are all things that I recommend, yeah.
I mean, you know, all the things that you would say to somebody, how
really cool.
well do you want to feel?
That's really cool.
You know, there's a bunch of brain things that I take. And
this is really, no, this
all
is
day long, by the way.
I believe it. I believe it. You look great.
Amy Gibson, my wife, was on your show.
Yes, she was on my show.
And she looked at my counter and saw all the bottles and she says, honey, do you think there's a problem here?
By the way, you need to tune in on, Google up Amy Gibson and NainaMD show. It was an amazing show. Yeah, we did. Listen, advancedbiocell.com, is that right?
That is. 310-550-6767.
And they're right here in Beverly Hills, an amazing, amazing place. I really think that they're very, very leading edge. This is something that even I've thought of implementing. I've done it, but you know they do a fabulous job of oxygen, active oxygen therapy. I absolutely agree with that. It's one of the best therapies that I think is out there. A lot of people don't quite understand it. It has to be done right, of course, which you guys are. That's why I brought him to the show, you guys, really, because they are truly the leading edge on that. So thank you so much.
Pleasure to have been here.
But you know, before you go, you have to give us give the 3 tips to the audience as far as the 3 top foods, superfoods. Yeah, everyone has their superfoods,
okay,
right?
It's what you eat and what you don't eat.
Yeah.
Stop eating grains.
Okay.
Stop eating sugar.
Okay. No grains, no sugar.
No grains, no sugar. If you're going to eat some fruit, make it the berries, the blueberries, the blackberries, and make them organic because there's lots of sprays otherwise.
Okay.
Drink a lot of water. Laugh a lot. Meditate. Most importantly, meditate. Meditate and then meditate. If it's 5 minutes at a time, but just meditate.
Okay.
Exercise. Get the right amount of sleep. And if you're not doing that, find somebody who can help you figure that out. What to do is to drink a lot of water, is to get the right amount of sleep, is to have at least 6 or 7 or 8 hugs a day.
Wow.
You know? Say something good about somebody every single day. Think about what is good that's coming up for you at night before you go to sleep. Drink your juices, your vegetable juices, and take your vitamins.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much. Thanks, Bill.
Pleasure,
Thanks again.
Pleasure.
This is NainaMD, Beverly Hills, Fusion of Science and Beauty. It's been a great show. We'll be back next week with another amazing show.